Hello friend, how is it going? Welcome back to Toyota Maintenance YouTube channel. I have today in the shop 2009 Tacoma. This one it's a little bit unusual because it is a manual transmission, 4-wheel drive, and it has 4-cylinder engine. I'm just finishing the engine oil change. Here you can see the engine. Still that screw-on funnel. This engine actually takes a lot of oil. It's a 6.1 quarts of the either 0W20 or 5W20 full synthetic oil. And I know I looked at the spark plugs a while ago last year, and I recommended to the owner replacement due to the large gap on those. So in this video, if you want to see how it is to replace the spark plugs, how easy or difficult it is, you can stay with me in this video. I hope you can have a good view from right there. So what is this engine? The model, which normally you can see here, it's a 2TR-FE. I believe if I say it's a 2.7 liter 4-cylinder engine, I will be correct. So I'm just removing the mounts for this box, air box, let's say intake air box. The filter is here. This is basically big box. There is on the back here. I will unclip right now one of the sensors, and if you look, it's free. So here is clamp on the air pipe. It's all so far 10 millimeters. So we are getting it loose, and I will switch on the other side. Now here is that vacuum line from the intake pressure or vacuum, whatever you want to call it, which goes to the fuel regulator right behind this power steering reservoir. Now these lines, by the heat and age, they kind of glue itself to those ports. This one is plastic and this one is steel. The regulator, fuel regulator, is made of steel. So I always, when you are trying to unhook it in order to remove it, I always recommend you a little hint. Try to unhook it on the steel side, because it's not so difficult to break that little nipple here, which is made of plastic. It will be almost impossible to break the steel, which is welded, right, little nipple part of that fuel regulator. So save yourself a headache of breaking that and then trying to glue it back, or because you don't want to bind that whole box from Toyota, as you can imagine clearly. So this will be the last 10 millimeter right here. I'm loosening those clamps so we can lift that whole part, and we will create the space for those spark plugs to be removed. There is a one big hose on the back here, which is the crankcase ventilation. I will just, there are like a steel clamps on it, which you push on with the hand. I will show it to you when I will pull it off. Now look at it. There is a one, the electric cable has a support here and little plastic fastener. This one is actually damaged right here. I should be able to carefully lift it. Let's see, there might be one more vacuum line. So I'm glad I can show it to you in live. So there's one more line right here, which goes to the secondary air injection. But if this works for you, you don't have to even unhook that. That's that pressure sensor which is right here. And voila! Let me bring you closer here and show you how we gain the access to the coils and the spark plugs. So you've been looking from here. Here is that support. Here is the line which I was talking about, and here is the other one to the sensor. So you can either again unhook it, that's a secondary air injection. And here we go, finally you can see that entire valve cover. In this case, Toyota chosen some plastic material. It's not aluminum anymore like on those previous engines. This will be the cylinder number 1, which is closest to the front crank. 1, 2, 3 and 4. This we will continue with unclipping these. These are electric connectors to the coils. Then 10 millimeters will be loosening the coils. I will be able to pull them out, and we will continue with those spark plugs. These little electric connectors, tabs, are sometimes finicky. Let's see if this one, if I squeeze it on the back, this one goes very easy. Let's see the other one. So they either fix the problem, improve it, redesign it or something. These ones are going really easy. On some previous models, you will be pushing on the tab as hard as you could, and it will not work. So I normally help myself with that little pick to help to lift the tab and not break it. These things, obviously, it's a plastic, it's a very small part. It hardens by the age and the heat of the engine. It's being exposed to the enormous heat, so you don't want to break the tab, because then it will be not guaranteed that the connector will not slip off that coil. Now I want to clean around here before I will pull the coils. So 10 millimeter screws, 4 of them, bolts. Bolts, not screws, Peter. You remember me that I'm too much of perfectionist, so I don't want to mix them together. I just want to keep them the same way as they came in their designated cylinder. So I will mark them. I will put a number 1 here. You can obviously put them in the order somewhere on the side, but even for future people, whoever will come here, 3. It's nice to have it marked. And 4. It's like a little paint marker. It's pretty good. We are using it in automotive industry a lot, and now you can see those coils coming. This I had out because there was inspection last year for the owner. So number 1, I pulled only number 1, so hopefully there will be no presence of the oil in different tubes. It's a number 2. This I feel comfortable putting it over there. It shouldn't hurt anything. Number 3 also, no oil, perfect. So we don't have a problem with a valve cover gasket, which is not just visible on outside, and it will be only in the tubes. So far at 188,000 miles, these coils are all original. They never failed, or if they did, the owner bought original Toyota, but it all looks, the dirt on them, the way they look all original. Now, my friend, we finally are having access to the spark plugs. Here again, this is the difference and you can see the coils are gone. So we will be pulling the sparkies. How that funny guy who has a YouTube channel and he does these old abandoned things, he's very successful. How he calls them? Sparkulators or something like that. He has all kinds of funny names for automotive stuff. He's a very funny guy. Oh yeah, throttle body, it's so clean. You should see it. Maybe I will show you. Did I clean it for this owner? Maybe. I forgot. I did work on a lot of tacos, as some of you said in comments. Yep. And I'm confirming it. I remember these were Denso's SK20 HR11s. That's correct, but the gap was getting bigger on those. So here goes the number one. You can see it perfectly out of the engine. And let's go grab the new ones. You know I'm big believer in Densos and all the OEM options for the spark plugs. I never want to be putting anything else there. Also, if I have a choice between a Denso, you can see it here again, SK20HR11, it's 4 of those. If I have a choice between a Denso and NGK, I will always go with Denso, preferably, if possible. So these are iridium. Aha, somebody cut into it. Yep, it's in the packaging, got cut as somebody was opening it. No big deal. So on the back of these packages you can always read any info as a real Toyota geek, because you want to know everything, right? So there's explanation, there is even how to correctly torque them on the back of this box. Will the camcorder close on it, focus on it? I hope the camera is showing it to you correctly. Here we go, that's how it goes from aftermarket. If you bought it in Toyota, it was in the red and white. Oh yeah, I see. Yeah, the gap, it's definitely smaller on that brand new one. Again, that will not show when I will try to show it to you, but I can see the difference. So it's a iridium SK20HR11. We know this belongs in this engine, and we are going to install the first one right now. And how you torque it, basically these are pictures with a minimum of writing. It says you put it inside by the hand only, and when it stops you continue 1/4 or a maximum of 1/2 of the turn, and that's how it will be correctly seated in the engine. So if you do it first time, you need the spark plug socket, because it includes inside the rubber ring which holds the spark plug, so when you put it in the engine it doesn't fall out. See that? This is a long reach from Snap-on, but you can use also the short one with a longer extension. That's up to you. I bought this a long time ago. I think this is absolutely priceless tool. Both of these Snap-ons, and I will never ever think it was a mistake. It was very expensive, doesn't matter. I use it very often. I love these two tools together. And for those who wanna upgrade their game, this is a Snap-on part, this extension. I will read you the numbers. FXWKL6. That's how you will find it in the catalog. I'm assuming that's still the same name in the Snap-on catalog. If you are interested in these, I'm not being paid for that, as you can imagine. This is a Snap-on 5/8 and it's a S9720KA. Both of them says USA. So really, these are the tools which everybody at least a little bit serious about automotive should have. Definitely for Toyotas. So let's see what they meant on that box. I have that new spark plug. I will carefully, without hitting anything with the tip. These tips are very fine, so you don't want to do it too fast. And I will use my hand only, right? They say hand torque it until it will stop and you cannot turn it anymore. So you see, this is a long thread. Takes quite a while to get it there. And right now the box, the Denso company is instructing us. You can position the ratchet certain way. So they say either quart, which will be 90 degrees, or maximum 180, which will means that the ratchet will end up towards to the cabin. So let's see. I'm turning it. That's a quart. Yep. And I will say that's it. So I did right now. This is a 90, and half of the 90, it's 45, so I did like 130. I stop here. This is the resistance which I normally will use for those spark plugs. So not even 180, approximately angle of 130. I will continue with replacing the remaining 3, because that's just absolutely identical procedure, and then we will continue with this video. Where can I see you without this? So it's so cool how Denso actually tries to help out to you, I will say, DIYers, that they are not asking for you to own the torque range, but they just helping you, right, with the turn. They are saying either quarter turn or maximum half turn, and that's how you feel it's correctly torque. Also, when you are loosening, cracking loose that spark plug, please do it by hand, that you can feel if it's stuck or not. Don't use a power tool, because if the spark plug was stuck, you don't want to break it there and have it stuck in the head and create for yourself extreme problem. As I keep working here, I keep staring at that throttle body, and this is so clean. I better show it to you. It's one of those, oh yeah, this is what I'm talking about. That's how it's supposed to look like. Clean, clean, clean. Obviously this truck is in good shape. It's being maintained good. So it didn't come here with a problem. It just came for the regular maintenance. There's nothing wrong with it. The owner's taking care of the baby. And hopefully it will last him forever. Here you go, look at the throttle body. Tell me, don't you think this is super awesome and clean? I love it. So I have all new spark plugs nicely inside. We can return those coils, right? So number 1 comes here. Number 2 should be right here. What I'm hearing from behind the screen? I was just checking if you are not sleeping watching this video. Of course, that's wrong. Number 1 is here. Number 2 is here. Right? We said it. 1 is in the front and it goes backwards. So, yeah, I'm glad I heard you screaming at me. Peter, stop! you need to fix it. The 4 is in the back. Number 4, right? Right here. That's the one in the back. Not in the front, Peter. I will use the power tool for these 10mm bolts. But, you know what? I will definitely switch the torque to the small torque number 1 setting. You don't want to damage it, crack it or something. So you want to be careful. Anytime, right, when you use power tools, the coil is made of plastic, so you don't want to crack it. If your tool will have no settings, you better do it by hand. You don't want to damage things. Toyota coils, OEM coils are extremely expensive, so you don't want to damage them. I will keep cleaning because I'm a clean freak. I will keep wiping off everything, but you don't have to. And now listen to the click, which will show this is not damaged. 1, now 2. You heard it, right? We didn't break the tabs, so they are still clicking, engaging. Heard that? And last one. You heard it. Perfect. So now I'm ready to start installing everything. You can see this is the ventilation pipe, which comes right here. Just watch for that vacuum line, which is still connected, so we don't break it. Have to be careful. What do you say? This is pretty neat, huh? It's not difficult in my opinion. Everybody should be able to do this themselves. Definitely. Always I recommend to use the magnets for the bolts. Putting it like somewhere right here, then you accidentally hit it and it's flying down there in the engine. So somewhere, place it somewhere out of your way. The magnet really nicely holds all those bolts and screws. You will never waste your time later trying to find that bolt somewhere down there. I hope many of you will find this video helpful. I try to share all the details, even about the tools and so on. If you do, give it a thumb up and absolutely make sure you are subscribed, because I have really way more coming your way soon. Thank you for watching and have a great day, my friend.